focus, right, for our clients is buy term and invested interest. That's what we always talk about, right? And of course, these agents that are selling, cash value life insurance policies, they're basically promoting like whole life, universal life as a tax-free retirement, right? And so that's why I picked this topic. All right, so a Roth IRA. First of all, what is a Roth IRA? Wait a minute, what is an IRA? Individual retirement account, and it's basically a retirement account where you fund after-tax dollars for the intention to use it for retirement so that it can grow tax-free. So this is a true tax-free retirement account. Now, notice I said for the intention for retirement, and it goes tax-free. It is literally tax-free, where you actually make money, and later on, when you start withdrawing, the full amount is not taxable. What happens with cash value? Why is it non-taxable? You don't make money. That's the real reason, right? Here, you actually can make money, and it is tax-free. Okay, now who can contribute? Basically, anybody who has earned income. Okay, now if there is a spouse, let's say husband and wife, only one of them is working, then as long as one of them has an income, then they can open what they call a spousal IRA. Okay, so again, you have to make some kind of money. Okay, now the IRS always sets guidelines for your income. So right now for 2023, if you are single and you make over $153,000 based on modified adjusted gross income, you're not qualified to contribute. Okay, if you're married, if you make over $220,000, then you also are not qualified to contribute. Right? There are exceptions to that, but I'll talk about that later. So we always, when we talk about taxes, unless you're Roth, right, who's actually certified here, we always say that full disclosure, I'm not a tax preparer or a CPA. Okay. The contribution limits is also set by the IRS, and if you're under 50, you can actually contribute $6,500 a year from a 401k, from a retirement account, if you become disabled. Okay. All right, so you can actually withdraw up to $10,000 if you're a first-time home buyer. And first-time home buyer is defined, every state is different, right? So it might be really your first home. Sometimes if you haven't bought a home in 15 years, you're still considered a first-time home buyer. So you could take up to $10,000 for to put on as a down payment on your home. Okay, unreimbursed medical expenses, because cost of getting sick sometimes is unaffordable. And sometimes if you have money, right, and that is considered like a hardship where you can actually withdraw, and it's penalty free. Okay. The IRS, by the way, if you owe the IRS and you have nowhere to take money from, guess what? You can actually withdraw from your retirement accounts, penalty free. Okay, do you guys know that?
Yep.
And like I said, it's also for if you the cost of health insurance is so expensive, and if you have no means to pay for health insurance, then you can also take money out from your. Now, do we encourage people? Absolutely not, right? We don't encourage people to take money out, but this is proof that you don't have to die. Also, you don't have to live too long to use your retirement accounts either. Now, we also, for me, I advocate for my clients to have an emergency fund, short-term investment accounts, long-term investment accounts, long-term that could be for retirement, should be for retirement, and also ones that are not tied to your retirement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. It can also pay for higher education. And of course, hardships, like when COVID happened, a lot of people lost their jobs. They actually waived the penalty, right? And you were able to withdraw from your retirement accounts, okay? But typically, again, the purpose of doing it is for your retirement, right? So you wanna make sure that you just save that. Now, where can you open a Roth IRA? I just do this for education for my clients, because I don't want them to feel like I'm just like doing a sales pitch, right? You can go through us, right? Which is, in my opinion, is the best way, because like Samir said, we can control the emotions, right? You don't want clients, withdrawing when there's a market downturn. I actually had a friend that called me. She knew that I was, in this business, and she goes, Sheila, this was when COVID hit, right? She was like, my friends are withdrawing money from their 401k, and I'm like, look, I'm not their advisor, nor am I allowed to advise anything to any of you guys. I said, but what are you doing? Well, I'm staying put. right? But you guys do whatever you want, I'm staying put. And you know what, she basically stayed, I said, whatever you decide is on you, but I'm staying put, and I'm gonna keep investing more, right? So anyways, fast forward, by November, the accounts were back up and more. And she called me, she said, hey Sheila, thank you. I said, thank you for what? Cause when you told me that, you know, that you stayed put, I kind of followed your lead. And now everybody that took their money out, they're all, you know, pissed off, and she was happy. Anyways, you can go through you know, like a lot of people are, oh, I can just go Fidelity.com. Yeah, you can, but when you put your money in, you know, those self-directed, do you know that it actually has to be invested? I've had clients where they say, oh, I open a Roth IRA, but it's not growing. I said, well, is it invested? Oh, what does that mean? So a lot of these people are opening these accounts, they hear about it, they read it in books, but they don't really know what to do, and that's where we come in. And this is why, you know, having somebody to talk to, right, even after hours, right, because I'm available like 7-Eleven, 24/7. That's important to them, right? And you can't buy relationships, and I think that is what we have, that we can bring to the table, right, that nobody else can, okay? Now, if they have a Roth 401k or 403b, they can open one up, and this is where the income limits are off the table, right? So if they make too much money, they can put money in a Roth, okay, 401k, if they offer it. Not all employers do offer that, and you know, some people like to go to the bank. Again, you come into the same problem. I've had clients where they had a Roth IRA, I said, oh, let's log into your statements, and long and behold, it was sitting in cash, never made money. I had a client that made 19 cents a month in profit for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, they can do whatever they want, but the reason I go through this is I want to explain to them why having somebody to talk to is far more, superior, in my opinion, okay? Now, how does your money go? We always like to talk about compound interest, right? Where you invest money, like who invests money to give money, just get the amount of money back or less? No one, right? Everybody invests for the purpose of growing their money. And if you've been on a QA appointment where we talk about, you know, you invest $200 a month for 35 years, that's only $84,000. If it's invested at 3%, average rate of return, that could be $148,000, 6% is $286,000, and 12% is over $1.3 million, right? So, you know, it's just with time, patience, discipline, consistency, there's no way, right, that you can be unsuccessful, because we're here for the long haul. And for me, as I've been, you know, an investor for 27 years, I can attest that when I just started with $200 a month, because that's all I could afford at the time, and I could say with a lot of 100%, which will guarantee for myself that it really did work out for me as well, okay? And, you know, dollar cost averaging, this is where people are like, oh, you know, what does that mean? Well, it means that even when the market is low, right, that's actually a great opportunity to buy more. But as a long-term investor, when you're hitting the low markets, you're actually buying more shares, and it averages it out over time. Make sense? All right, so this is where, you know, I just kind of hit on this, where when I say like, oh, just because you open an account doesn't mean it's gonna grow. It actually has to be invested. And these are the options usually, you know, out there where you can invest your money, but you need to understand what all of these, you know, what all of these products are, okay?